pressing record. We're recording now on Twitch, or we've been streaming to Twitch. Stream the Machine episode 35. 15 episodes from the big one, and also our 1 year. Starts now.
Look at this. Come on, what? Cool things happen when you start the day with Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. So cool. They're hot, so hot. The hot taste of real fruit filling inside and cool frosting on the outside. Real hot, 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 hot. The cool, hot part of this complete breakfast. So cool. They're hot, so hot.
Thank you.
They're cool.
I have a bad case of diarrhea.
You are listening to a Fly Science Productions podcast. Welcome to Stream the Machine. Weird, I was hearing that kind of hitch up there for a second. That's whatever. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Stream the Machine episode. I probably got too much. Now, hold on. My computer's being a little goofy right now. Seems like everyone's computer's being a little goofy right now. Hold on. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. What the heck?
I think all the computers saw the new Terminator trailer. You're getting inspired.
Oh no. Hold on. Let me see. Holy my CPU usage is at freaking 90-some%. What am I doing? That is taking so much. I'm doing too much is what I'm doing. That's so crazy. Hold on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 35 of Stream the Machine, the one where we all have problems with everything that we're trying to do. Not for real, though. Like, my CPU is getting crunched hard right now. Guess we're just gonna go with it. Anyways, welcome to the show. I'm trying to figure out some last minute things here. Da 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 da. Okay. Anyways, weird. What an awful start to a hopefully great show. Anyways, welcome to Stream Machine episode 35. It is the 13th of December, 10:34 a.m. We have some good stuff lined up for us today. I'm your host, Jake Mercer, and with me, as always, is Tony DePalma. Tony, how are you doing today, man?
Good. I can do thumbs up now.
Yeah, it's exciting. We've got such a new amount of depth to our show now that we can do our video. I'm excited. I feel like we're making steps, and now we're one step closer to having our own TV show. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start the show off. If you want to help us out, go to iTunes. You can leave good or bad reviews. Heck, you can even leave reviews on the website, but iTunes seems to be usually the better place for that. That helps us out, like I said, whether they're good or bad. So if you have an iPod or an iPhone or an iSomething, go there and leave us reviews. That would be great. So since we've last talked, I believe, the Destiny expansion has dropped. Is that true? Have you been following Destiny at all still?
I think it just did. I haven't played it much. Well, I haven't played it, but a guy who sits in the cubicle next to me was talking to me about it.
Okay, yeah, I was.
It's like the level 30 or level 32 raid.
Right. Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, you know, it's a little pricey. Well, given I don't play anymore, but it's I think without the season pass, it's like $20 for the content, and I'm a little, I don't know. It's again, I'm not exactly 100% on the Destiny train anymore, but I'm just curious to see where it's progressing. I had devoted quite a bit of time into it when it originally released, so I'm curious to see how it fares. But speaking of games, Steam sales are dropping next week.
Yep.
Which is great news for anyone who wants to get games and save ridiculous amounts of money.
But bad news for my wallet.
Yes, bad news for everyone who wants.
This game is so cheap. Why won't I buy? Well, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, you're gonna spend the same amount of money you normally would, but you're gonna get 10 times the amount of games you normally would. So I believe. Let me check the dates here. I think it's the 18th or 19th It's next week for sure. But it is running until January 2nd, I believe is what it said. So that is almost 2 straight weeks of deals coming from Steam, which will be good news. Of course, I have to. I think I'm legally bound that I have to announce Ground Zeroes, the Metal Gear Solid sort of opener, drops on PC next week as well. Is when the sale drops, or when the sale starts. And apparently last year when they did Metal Gear Rising, which was a spin-off in the series, and they put it on PC, they also dropped it on the Christmas sale, and it went on sale that day. So there is a good chance that man, my internet is getting boned. I think everything's getting boned right now. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyways.
Oh, but I forgot to tell you, I picked up Ground Zeroes on PS4.
Nice.
Over Black Friday. I haven't tried it out yet.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. Heck, when Avery picked it up, my nephew, I sat down and played through the campaign with him because I was like, I want to experience this with you. And so we were like, all right, you going to get those hostages? Cool. And freaking ran over there and did it. Awesome. That's really cool. I'm excited. I will probably look into picking up the PC version, assuming I'm assuming it'll probably retail for about 20, and then can probably pick it up on sale for 15ish, hopefully. If not cheaper than that. And I'm mostly, one of the reasons I would pick it up is because I actually plan on getting a new video card.
Nice. What are you gonna get?
Well, I'm a little I'm a little ashamed of saying it because it's an expensive card. It's a GTX 980, which is fairly recent. But we just got our bonuses from work, and I'm going to use I basically. So here's the thing: I spend money on stuff that is for me, obviously. And, I bought the mic, I buy video games, I buy computer things. I have expensive hobbies, but a bonus got announced, and they talked to us about it, and I was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I offered to help. I basically am going to pay rent for the month by with part of the bonus. I'm going to use the other part of it to pick up the card. So I'm sort of like a half gift to Rachel. We had actually said we weren't going to do gifts this year because neither of us are really hugely into Christmas, but I thought, you know what, if someone offered to pay my portion of rent and let me not pay it for a month, I would be ecstatic. So I was like trying to turn around, because I'll feel better about spending the money on one of the most expensive video cards out there. I'll feel better about that if I do a good Samaritan act and help somebody else out with a good portion of that money. So, but the 980 does look really enticing. Looks great. I actually already have a pretty decent video card as it is, but as you know,
you got the 760, right?
770 right now, yes.
770.
Yeah. So I think the 780 is kind of the one now that a lot of people are liking, because the 780 and variations of it actually perform closely to the 980, but are a little bit cheaper. So really, I think the 980 literally has only been out for a couple months, if that.
Yeah, I remember when it came out.
So it's not the most expensive card I can get. There are more expensive cards. There's the Titans that NVIDIA has, which just seem like overkill at the moment. But I'm excited. I'm excited to make the jump, because I'm the quality of my PC games to a fault is sort of my main what would I say, downfall, I guess, as a person, as I am constantly trying to max out the performance of my PC. I was also actually looking into a processor upgrade, and seeing as how today somehow, let's check again here, seeing as how today somehow I'm sitting here at 100 CPU usage, 100%. What the hell's that about? Fluctuating between 80% and high 90s. So I'm not exactly...
What process is it running?
I don't know. I get a lot from Chrome and SoundPlant and OBS. So that's the thing, is I'm running a ton of heavy stuff right now to try and run the show. But it appears that that processor upgrade might be more important than I realized, because I cannot have my stuff maxing out like this. That's incredible. So the good news about upgrading the processor is the processor I have now has only depreciated about $30 from what I paid for it. So what I can do is take it, and they, assuming my company will actually accept the trade, they actually take trade-in credit. So if I sell, I can basically sell the processor back to what it would cost them to buy it, and then take that money off purchasing a new processor. So I'm looking into that as an option for upgrading my processor. That way I can get something that is a little beefier, which I was mostly trying to get as a sort of future-proof, to make sure that if I had issues in the future, I could immediately knock them out. But it appears that I might have need for it almost immediately. So that will be in the next.
What processor do you have?
I think it's a 4570, which I'm not super knowledgeable about processors, but it's an i5, which I know is not as good as an i7. That's all I know. So I'm looking to upgrade to an i7 because I know that i5 is not the greatest. It also is a processor that cannot be overclocked, and not that I would necessarily need to overclock, but the fact that I can't overclock it if I wanted to makes me want to get a processor that I can't overclock. When I was building this computer, I was trying to build sort of like bitching on a budget, so it was like really good but also kind of cheap in certain areas, and so processor was one where I kind of dipped down, and originally in the graphics card as well. But now that's, you know, I've had the computer, I've upgraded a couple parts now, and of course with the bonus coming along, I figure why not make it even better. So I found this. I
was gonna put my Christmas bonus to a graphics card, but nothing that day.
Well, okay. So here's the nice part about. I mean, okay. So I worked at Maui Gym for a couple months, and I got a Christmas bonus from them as well when I worked there, and it was fairly small. But I also didn't work at the company that long. You know, it was whatever. I guess I could say the nice part about working at the job I have is awful. I hate it. I hate working there. But the nice part is that it's a small enough private company that if they have some extra whatever cash, you know, whatever, they can actually be kind of generous with stuff like the bonuses. And so I will admit I was a little surprised at the amount that they gave us, but you know, again, that's the benefit, I guess, for working for a small company, is you don't have to hand it out to thousands of employees. You have 30 employees, and you split the bonus up between that.
That's how it is. Like, I'm getting my Christmas bonus isn't from my job at CAT. It's from the landscaping company I worked for over the summer.
Nice. That's funny. Yeah, a lot of places will do it based on how long you've worked there. So, like I said, when I had Maui Gym, it wasn't very much, because it was based on how long I had put in. Now, I got lucky last year, in that we had also gotten a bonus from the same job, and I think that's what allowed me to buy my PS4. But that was also from the Lenovo computer company. We work very closely with Lenovo, and they had sent bonuses to our business and said, here, you split it up. So it wasn't actually technically company money. You know, it wasn't like they were taking it out of their own pocket. It was incentive bonuses that we had gotten specifically from Lenovo that they handed it out. But I think this bonus this year is from the company itself, and it was a very generous bonus. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful. As much shit as I talk about my job, and I continue to, because I don't like the job, but the bonus was very generous, and I'm very thankful. Now, I don't know if you've ever wanted to be a hip-hop artist or a hip-hop star, but I have a great way for you to get started. I found I've got some friends, particularly the guy that drives me to work and his girlfriend are big fans of the Wu-Tang Clan. And I saw them post, or I saw one of them comment or like or post or something on a link that is a Wu-Tang Clan name generator. Okay, so I'm going to put our names in, and we're going to figure out what our rap names are, if we were part of the Wu-Tang Clan. And, so...
Plug that in.
You plugged yours in? What is yours?
Smiling Wanderer.
Smiling Wanderer. And was that for Tony DePalma? Or did you put in Anthony?
That's my full legal name, Anthony David DePalma.
Okay, because it does change based on the type of name that you put and how many actual...
Tony changed from... It becomes Lazy Ass.
Lazy... Let's see. I tried Jake. Let's see. Jake Mercer. I would be the Tough Contender, which I'm okay with. And then Jacob, I would be the Smiling Menace.
If I just do Anthony DePalma, I'm Crazy Hunter.
Crazy Hunter. I think Lazy Ass was the best one out of those. Let me see. Let me use the full name here. This is going to have to be our... Okay, full name here, including my middle name, which I will never ever divulge, is Crazy Madman.
Crazy Madman?
Madman, yes, Crazy Madman.
I realized when I typed Anthony David, I made Anthony David one word. To make it 3 words, it's Wicked Mercenary.
One of these is going to have to be what we go by from now on the shows forevermore. So, brought to you by...
I love how the instructions become a real Wu warrior. Enter your full name and smack the old dirty button.
The old dirty button.
Dirty button.
Yeah, Wu-Tang, man, they're freaking pioneers of hip-hop. They, I've not actually listened to a ton of their music. I'm actually a bigger fan of a couple of the solo guys versus the actual group itself, but they do some admirable things. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with some of the rest of the show. Tony has exciting things to do today, so we're going to make sure that we stay on time. Tell us. So you told us about it a little bit last week. Go ahead and tell us more.
So you guys know I play drums for my church every now and then, but they're putting on this big, like orchestra choir Christmas concert extravaganza thing, and I'm playing drum set along with the orchestra, which is really cool compared to what I thought it was going to be.
You said you already did it last night, right?
Yeah, I did. Playing Washington, Illinois last night. We played twice at my church, which is like near Edwards, outside of Peoria, and then tomorrow we play in Bartonville, Illinois.
Right on.
So it's a lot of playing, but I got to be there at noon.
That's exciting. I'm happy for you, and I'm sad that I have to miss it. As much as I don't like Christmas music, it would have been exciting to see. So let's get on with our articles today. We have some interesting ones here. 404 error, page not found. Alrighty. Well, if there's a recent leak in emails with Sony and other companies, and as a result of a hacking attempt and everything else that is bad with the world. But we've seen that if... Whoops, this is going to autoplay here, isn't it? Yep, never mind. If Marvel were to pick back up Spider-Man, because they currently own Sony currently owns the rights, Andrew Garfield would no longer be Peter Parker. The article says, we have already heard this week how Marvel Studios and Sony have had discussions about working together to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because right now X-Men and Spider-Man are not with Marvel/Disney. They have Sony is with Spider-Man's with Sony, and then X-Men right now is with Fox, I believe. I don't think they're part of the same studio, but those talks reportedly fell through, but word has it that pressure from Sony Pictures' parent company could mean that the dialogue could start up again, and that the Wallcrawler might yet meet up with the Avengers on screen. And yet, if that does happen, it sounds like the Amazing Spider-Man star Andrew Garfield won't be invited to this party. Let's see here. I'm going to get some important quotes from this. So this is a quote from, as they call a website called Latino Review that said they had insider resources here. Said, if the Marvel and Sony deal was to go forward, Andrew Garfield would no longer be Peter Parker, and any baggage from existing films, from the Raimi or the Mark Webb series, wouldn't be considered non-canonical, which means none of it would actually be part of the Marvel universe. Marvel wants a clean slate, apparently, and they are not interested in doing any more so-called romance movies, but would rather focus on the difficulties of being a teenager and a superhero with a romance side story. Neither is an origin story part... Neither is an origin story part of the plan, so a Marvel Spidey movie would reportedly pick up with Peter Parker already living his double life as a hero. Additionally, these sources say that Spider-Man making his debut in Captain America Civil War, which is one item that Sony and Marvel have discussed before their initial talks broke down, could still happen and would serve as Spider-Man's introduction to the MCU, which is the Marvel
Cinematic Universe.
I was going to say comic universe. I'm glad someone here appreciates Marvel more than I do. No, that's exciting. I'm a tad... I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, because... I like, so I was okay with the original Spider-Man ones. I was actually really cool with the Mark Webb one, the first one. I thought was brilliant. I never saw the second one because I had worries about it. And after seeing a few reviews, I think I just read too many that were lukewarm.
You're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like the first Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock. I was like, that's the best one.
No. Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I had some concerns, like it was talking about so many bad guys and main love story and all this other kind of stuff, and not that any of that was bad, but I was kind of appreciating what Sony did with the first film, and to see them kind of drop the ball in the second one, it really is lending to the fact that it seems like nobody but Marvel can handle their own material without fail. I mean, I guess X-Men's doing well with Fox.
Yeah, Fox is doing all right.
But Spider-Man now is at a point where they're probably not going to do well, I don't know. They have plans for other things, but I've also heard them scrap things. So they've been talking about a Sinister Six movie. They talked about a possible Venom movie, but I know some of that's now on the back burner.
Talked about an Aunt May movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just... I'm not 100%. I'm afraid to lose Spider-Man because he's the one Marvel hero I'm actually kind of rooting for. I'm afraid to lose him to the rest of the stuff that they're doing with the Avengers and whatnot. And I think having a third actor for Spider-Man in how many years could just kind of... what's the word? Dilute the character. I mean... It's the reason the stuff so well is working for Marvel now is because you have all the same actors. You have Robert Downey Jr. You have all these big name dudes that are showing up in everything. None of them are like being substituted with other actors, and they're taking it all as one big huge universe, as you said, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If we're now to kind of cut in Spider-Man and be like, all right, well, here's a new actor because we want to disconnect from everything that's come previous, it just kind of worries me. Depending on the actor, it just kind of like, eh.
Well, for one, I highly doubt that Sony will sell the rights to Spider-Man.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it would...
Because even though the movie wasn't that good, it made a ton of money.
Yeah. And
it will still make them a ton of money just because it has Spider-Man in it.
Yeah, I didn't read a lot of the specifics about the emails. It seems like it was less of a selling off and more of let's team up, probably some kind of contract that allows, I guess, them to pull together and work on something, allow us to borrow the IP, essentially, I guess. I don't really know the legality of that and how easily that works, but I don't know. He's obviously very important in the Civil War storyline. They've got a couple of friends at work that are big comic book dudes and have talked about the Civil War thing, and I think that's, aside from probably the next Avengers things, Civil War I think is probably the most exciting movie idea coming up for comic book dudes.
They should do a Planet Hulk movie.
Well, and so...
That's what I want.
I think they even had... Didn't they announce some kind of... Or maybe they didn't. Let's see. Planet Hulk. I feel like that was part of the... Oh, no. They're saying here that they haven't... I thought for sure I saw that in that list of stuff that they were working on. Oh, well. Yeah, I don't know.
The reason that one probably wouldn't get made is, well, maybe not get made, but like, there's no Bruce Banner on Planet Hulk. It's just Hulk. It's like Mark Ruffalo like would barely be involved.
That's true, and so it doesn't really expand the current universe that they've got, at least with the actors. So that's true. I didn't think about that. Who knows? It's probably also, at the moment, maybe one of their weakest characters, because it doesn't have another solid movie. I mean, you have the same issue, honestly, with Hulk, as you could have with Spider-Man. At this point, the Hulk has had 3 actors in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It does get a little, like I said, I think it does get a little weird when you do kind of stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is all just leaked emails. It doesn't even mean anything. Like a bunch of other stuff was said in the emails, and who really knows how any of that's going to go. So, in much worse news, the Xbox One is now was the best-selling console in the United States and the UK in November. So it has been. It's been about a year, I think, since the console's released, and the PS4 was the best-selling console every month until last month, and I think they released in November. So the reason that kind of sucks is I think that stopped Sony from hitting a full year of being the best-selling console.
Did the Xbox One come out before the PS4?
Let's find out. So,
I think the PS4 came out first.
Xbox One.
I don't remember.
Xbox One was launched on November 22nd. I think I'm gonna sneeze. I was getting an allergy there. See what time?
PS4 was the 15th.
So,
I mean, if they count that November, then it would have.
Yeah, that's surely a bummer. I wanted PS4 to win, but what are you gonna do? Xbox has dropped their price point a couple times. I think that could have helped. Yeah. It's $100 cheaper because of no Kinect, and now I think it is $50 cheaper for the holiday season. We're at the $350 mark right now, whereas the PS4 is still $400. Whether or not it is worth paying $50 less to have a inferior console is up to you. But the gamers have spoken. Microsoft released Microsoft released the following statement to IGN attributed to Xbox Marketing's corporate vice president Mike Nichols. We are committed to making the Xbox the best place to play with this year's best games, the best community of gamers to play with, and terrific value. And we are amazed by the excitement Xbox fans have shown to start off this holiday. November set a new record for sales on the Xbox One, and the Xbox One was the best-selling console in the United States and the UK. Response to the holiday lineup of games on Xbox One was incredible, with the Xbox One fans buying more games in November in the US than any other Gen 8 platform, which would have been, I think, the Wii U and the PlayStation 4, and enjoying over 357 million hours of gameplay globally. In fact, more fans logged into Xbox Live across the Xbox One and 360 and enjoyed more entertainment than any other month in history of the Xbox. So basically what that's saying, I mean, we kind of knew it when it says that they won, the sales numbers there for November. Is that whatever happened in November, Xbox took a huge boost. I don't
know they did trade-ins for original Xboxes where you got $100 off too, on top of the already $50 off. So you could get an Xbox One for $250 if you traded it in.
Yeah, I honestly had thought about it at one point. Because I want consoles for the exclusive games. However, there's not enough exclusive games or great exclusive games out for the Xbox One right now to merit me actually wanting to spend the extra money. Had it dropped down to $200, so if it was $200 with a console trade-in, I think I would have considered it. But $250 was still a little bit too expensive for me. And like I said, I mean, it's not an opinion. It legitimately performs lower than the PS4. So at the moment, it would have been $250 for me to buy a console that does not perform as well as another console that I already have. So it really would have had to been I would have had to been in love with the Master Chief Collection that came out for it, or something else that was coming out soon. And I just don't see it at the moment. I have a list here of the top 10 games based on sales. for November. What would you guess number 1 is? Out of everything that's come out recently.
Call of Duty.
You would be correct. What would you guess number 2 is?
Is this for both consoles?
This is for everything. So not just between those.
Ever.
This is handhelds, this is PC.
I'm going to go Pokemon.
Okay, so Pokemon's number 5 and number 7 for both versions. That's not bad. Grand Theft Auto 5
That was going to be my next one.
was for number 2.
Thanks.
Super Smash Brothers at 3. Madden NFL 15 is at 4. Pokemon Sapphire at 5. Far Cry at 4 at 6. Pokemon Ruby at 7. NBA 2K15 at 8. Unity at 9.
Dang it.
And then Halo, the Master Chief Collection at 10. Which isn't bad considering that's the only one on this list that is console exclusive if you don't count Pokemon.
Smash Brothers.
Or Smash. Well, so Smash Brothers is 3DS and Nintendo, actually. They're counting,
that's true.
They're counting the handheld version as well. So technically that counts. Because I don't have a Wii U. I could have bought it for handheld if I wanted to. But whatever. Kudos to you, Microsoft. I don't know.
Kind of the hope. As much as I love the Assassin's Creed games, I was kind of hoping Unity wasn't going to be on that list, so they would kind of like get their stuff together and not.
I was talking about it. I was talking about it yesterday with a friend at work. You know, it's. I haven't played Unity, but I don't know. I feel like when you're putting out a game per year, and you're from the same company, and given you're probably having different divisions of the company do it, you risk. Again, I'm going to use the word dilute. You risk diluting just everything that you're working on for that series. You know, the reason these sequels and stuff like that used to work so well for movies or for games or for whatever is because usually they're staggered over a couple of years. Not necessarily staggered, but usually there's a gap. And when you're coming out with something every year, games are supposed to offer something new, and it can't always just be in story. Now, if you produce a game that doesn't have a great story to tell, you're already off on a bad foot. Because your gameplay now has to be stellar. You know, you come out with Assassin's Creed 3 that has, one of the biggest new mechanics was the ship, the seafaring stuff, ship combat. And it was kind of, I don't want to call it bare bones, because it wasn't bad. It was good. But it wasn't great. So what do? Everyone's like, oh, that's kind of cool. They come out with Black Flag, and they're like, we're going to kill it. We're going to destroy it. You are going to be sailing the entire time. And they did. They absolutely destroy it, and Assassin's Creed 4 is amazing. And then now it's like, what new thing do you have to offer? Unity has to have something that now continues going up the stairs.
I think what they tried to make that was the co-op.
Okay. And see, I've not even heard a single thing about it.
It's never been a cooperative game.
Yeah.
It's like fans of the game don't play it to play with other people. They play it to... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not completely sold on Unity yet, so we'll see. I heard Rogue, which actually just dropped on PC. I believe Rogue has some ship combat in it, and hearing that kind of makes me think that it's secondary. Like that it's what am I trying to say here? They tacked it on because they wanted to basically ride the coattails of a previous game that they've done. But whatever. You know what? I'm not a game analyst, as much as I try to be. I don't have any professional experience. So we're going to move on to a segment called In Other News.
This just in other news.
It really bothers me that my processor's like getting throttled like mega. We also have I believe a Spanish-speaking listener trying to listen into the show right now on MixLR. They're speaking in Spanish. At least through the chat, yeah. No entiendo lo que dicen, which dicen is say, or dice. No, I don't know what entiendo is. I think he's saying he doesn't understand what we're saying. How do you say I'm sorry?
Google translate it.
I don't remember how you say I'm sorry.
Lo siento.
Lo siento. How would I say? Lo siento to. Lo siento no. Let's see. Lo siento tu no comprende. I don't know. I'm sorry. Gracias is what I'm going to say, though. Thank you for listening in. And even though you can't understand us, and I definitely can't speak it. Anyways, continuing on. Instead of my failed attempts here at Spanish, I got kicked out of Spanish in high school.
Ooh.
Well, okay. So our substitute teacher, I had an original teacher that went on maternity leave, and we had a substitute that was a complete bitch. And I can say that now because I'm old enough and I don't go to school. But she was a bitch, and she constantly kind of got angry at kids and sent them to the office and all this other kind of stuff. And one day I asked the wrong question at the wrong time, and she got angry and sent me to the office. And they later sort of investigated it and were like, yeah, it would probably be best if you just don't, if you're not in the class anymore. So I was like, all right, cool, that's fine. And then like a month later, she got fired. So she just was an awful teacher, I think, is what I'm going to go with. But I didn't get kicked out of class necessarily. They were like, you know what, it'd be best probably if you just joined another class because we have continual issues with those. I am getting I'm getting an Xbox. I'm getting our Xbox link for the first article here I had picked. So it must have means that dang it, hold on. Let me copy and paste this. This was an interesting one, actually. Interesting to a degree. Here we go. I got it. Continuing on. Study shows that men are bigger idiots than women. Science has finally proven that what many women have long speculated to be true. Men are the more idiotic sex. A whimsical study published by the special Christmas issue of the BMJ evaluated which gender was more likely to take part in idiotic behaviors based on 20 years of Darwin Award results. The annual Darwin Awards are awarded each year to individuals who died while taking part in astoundingly risky and idiotic behavior. The name of the award is based on the scientist Charles Darwin, who's known for positing the notion of survival of the fittest. Excuse me. The study found that between 1995 and 2014, 282 nominees were men. 36 were women. Men accounted for an overwhelming 88.7% of the Darwin Award nominees. I think anyone could have told you that. Of course men are more ridiculous than women. I mean, we've got freaking testosterone driving us to compete and to,
Yeah.
I mean, have you known a college dude? They're the biggest douches in the world, so I don't understand. Of course, this should be relatively common knowledge. It is conceivable, there's a quote, it is conceivable that the sex difference is attributable to socio-behavioral differences in alcohol use. Anecdotal data support the hypothesis that alcohol makes men feel bulletproof after a few drinks, and it would be naive to rule this out. The authors of the study concluded that their theory of MIT, which stands for the male idiot theory, deserves further investigation. With the festive season upon us, we intend to follow up with the observational field studies and experimental study, males and females with and without alcohol, and a semi-naturalistic Christmas party setting. So there you go. It's undeniable proof that we are stupid. We haven't had an article.
Man.
Yeah. Again, I am not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that men are stupider than women, at least in the ridiculous activities that they decide to partake in. We haven't had an article about poop in a while, so I figured I would grab one. Package thief tricked into taking a parcel of poop. A Washington, D.C. couple fed up with the packages being stolen from their porch said that they put a box of dog poop on their porch and recorded it being swiped. Andrea Hutzler said she and her boyfriend decided to give the thief his excremental comeuppance after 3 packages were stolen from in front of their home since October, with the most recent theft being caught on camera on December 5th. The couple filled the box with their dog's poop Monday and changed the angle of the hidden camera to get a shot at the thief's face. They said the thief, apparently the same man from Friday's video, I'm guessing another time that was stolen, was recorded walking off with the poo-filled parcel Monday. Quote, I had originally wanted to put a note in the box that said surprise. The couple said they're hoping the video will lead to the poopatrator being identified by the police. They said the white pickup truck was spotted in both videos and may be related to the thefts. Hutzler said she has a message for the thief. Quote, you give me shit, I'll give it back to you.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, I would have... I don't know, man. Some dude was coming and taking packages off, depending on what they were. I don't think I would have stopped at a hidden camera. Well, I mean, I probably would have watched, but then I would have went out there and tried to beat the shit out of them. Some dudes steal... See, here's the thing, is if I'm ordering stuff, I'm ordering a mic, I'm ordering a video card, I'm ordering stuff that is costing me money. It's not like, oh yeah, I bought this, whatever, and it cost $10, so that guy stole it, I can just order another one. This is stuff that I do not want being taken. If that was the case, I would be severely angry that it was happening. So, kudos to these guys for somehow keeping it in good taste. I don't understand how anyone has... I mean, I guess there's a lot of things I don't understand that people do, but stealing packages, I guess, is one of them. Have you ever had that happen? Someone steal a package? I don't think I've ever had anyone...
My brother did.
Take a package.
He ordered something from Nike, like a pair of shoes, and then my parents' house lived at, like, really, really rural. Mm-hmm. So, like, our driveway is 300 meters long. And so, like, our mailbox is at the end behind some trees. We can't ever see it.
Right.
And, like, the UPS driver usually they come down and, like, deliver it to our door. But for some reason, they just took the bag and hung it on the mailbox, just out on the street with the Nike logo, and someone just drove by and stole it.
Oh, people, what are you going to do? Decide to throw shit in a bag and give it to them. Vulgar undergarment, the Comfy Balls, denied a U.S. trademark. You might be asking yourself, Comfy Balls, what is that? I'm going to send this to you, Tony, via Facebook. Where's your freaking name at, Tony? Don't slam the goddamn door. Wait, I think I've got a clip for that. We haven't been playing clips nearly as much lately. We've been getting way more into a talk show, and we need to have a little bit of this every once in a while.
What does the goddamn line say, Tony? Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Don't slam the fucking door.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so Comfy Balls is, just kind of looks like aren't there undergarments that look like this normally?
Yeah. I thought they would be have special padding or something.
Yeah, they kind of look like stuff I've seen before. The Norwegian manufacturers of Comfy Balls underwear said that the U.S. Patent Office told them that the brand name is too vulgar to trademark. Company founder Anders Selvig said officials filed an application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office earlier this year with an aim toward bringing the products to the North American market, but the office's reply said the name was too vulgar to trademark. Quote, the mark does not create a double entendre or other idiomatic expression. When used in this way, the word balls has an offensive meaning, said the office. The ruling came after lobbying against the brand by 1 Million Moms, a wing of the American Family Association aimed at fighting indecency. Ben & Jerry's Saturday Night Live inspired ice cream flavor, Sweaty Balls, was similarly denied trademark by the Patent Office after protests from the group. Did you ever see that clip from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Sweaty Balls and Sweaty Wieners?
Sweaty Balls.
Selvig called the Patent Office to review its guidelines. The trademarks, this is a quote again, the trademarks Nice Balls and I Love My Balls have recently both been approved by the United States Patent Office. Luckily, Europeans have a softer view on what is deemed to be vulgar, and the European Union allowed Comfy Balls to trademark without hassle earlier this year. Comfy Balls is named for its package front technology, which the company says creates the ultimate comfort by reducing heat transfer and restricting movement. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it has the potential to be comfy. I can't really tell. Extra padding would have been...
We might not ever get a chance.
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. I don't know. It's... being named Comfy Balls... I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Because there are times where I feel like the American idea of censorship goes a little bit too far. But balls is a pretty... it's not really explicit, but you know what they're talking about. And it refers to an explicit part of the body. Europe has a far more accepting history of less censorship of sexual references. Just even in their TV and just anything. Sex is less of a thing that they try to censor. Whether or not that's a good thing, who knows? We'll never know. Because I guarantee the U.S. will never get to the point that Europe has with being okay with that kind of stuff. Last one. Scottish University creates whiskey-scented fabric. Have you ever had whiskey, Tony?
Yeah.
I hate it. I used to drink a little bit of whiskey when I was living back in Illinois. And
whiskey?
It was the first time I really had started drinking, and the first time anyone starts drinking, you're more prone to kind of get drunk because you've never drank before, or you're kind of testing limits, and unfortunately I got sick a few too many times drinking whiskey, and so whiskey itself now, just the smell of it kind of makes me want to puke. So this
would not be good to get you bed sheets for Christmas.
No, absolutely not. You'll have to take that that gift back. I usually drink a little bit of vodka now, which, on the other end of the spectrum, everyone hates vodka, and it's not. I don't necessarily think vodka tastes great. No alcohol tastes great, really, unless you're drinking a cider.
McGinnis guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's anyways. Scottish University has announced it has developed a fabric designed to bear the permanent order of Johnny Walker Black Label Whiskey. Excuse me again. Harriet Watt University's School of Textiles and Design said the fabric developed for the textile company Harris Tweed Hebrides, who knows, and distiller Diago's Johnny Walker Black Label brand bears a permanent scent dubbed Aqua Alba, which was designed to replicate the odor of a glass of Johnny Walker. Now, I've not had Johnny Walker Black Label whiskey. I'm sure the whiskeys have sort of different tastes between the types, but that is one that I have not tried. Quote, smart textiles are a fast-developing sector that offers enormous potential. Our year-long collaboration with Harris Tweed Hebrides is a great example of the ways in which we can help the Scottish textile companies to develop their business, add value to their textiles, and bring exciting new products to the market. Brian Wilson, chairman of the Harris Tweed Hebrides and former British trade minister, said that the project was a very natural partnership of the two great Scottish brands, with input from one of our cutting-edge academic centers. The more of these partnerships we can promote, the better for the Scottish economy. Don't know if I'd ever have use for whiskey flavored. I guess not whiskey flavored, but rather. Can you imagine whiskey flavored fabric? Yeah. Whiskey scented fabric.
So when you drool, tastes good.
Oh my god, that'd be awful. It's making me want to puke right now just thinking about it. I don't even know who I would gift this to. Actually, I do know a guy that likes some scotch, but does he want a shirt or a? I'll tell you what it does help with. Getting drunk at work. All you got to do is wear a flannel that smells like whiskey.
Oh, it's just my shirt.
Yeah, it's just my shirt.
New patented micro encapsulation technology.
Oh boy,
it's not my breath.
Well, there you go. There's our weird things for today. We're gonna move on now to see how we doing on time. Oh, we're all right. We're going to move on to Would You Rather. We'll play a song, and then we'll have more Karmified stuff coming up. We are going to play this.
Toronto doesn't have bums.
Wiener poopy.
Can't have sex with bones.
Alrighty, there's our intro for Would You Rather. Let's pick a couple of these today. I saw a couple good ones here. Let me see. All right, here we go. This is one I really wanted to ask you. Would you rather have a career testing cheaply made groin cups, or ineffectual fire retardant clothing. So, your career would be to, I imagine, somehow get impacted in the comfy balls, knowing that you're wearing a groin cup that is not made with a great amount of care, or donning clothes that you know are going to fail, but you still have to test how flame retardant they are.
That is super difficult.
So what's more important to you?
I like my comfy balls.
Your comfy balls or your skin?
I like having burns across 90% of my body. Shoot, man. I would... it depends on the severity of both tests. Either way, I lose.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say fire.
I might go with fire too. I don't think any man would probably ever really submit to being hit in the genitalia.
Yeah.
Let's find out. We're gonna pick fire here. Wow. So I think some of this is probably because. Okay, well, so two things here. One, women responded to this, and so of course, getting kicked in the groin.
Doesn't sound that bad.
Apparently, I mean, I'm sure it still hurts to get kicked in that spot, but you don't. I guess you don't have. Why is it okay to say balls, but I'm uncomfortable saying vagina? I don't understand.
I was just curious. You can just say the same word, genitals.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Genitals is the way we're going to go here. Anyways, or it said that just because the groin cups are cheaply made doesn't mean that they're ineffectual. So the groin cups, all we know is that they are cheaply made, whereas we know for sure about the fire that it is ineffectual. So I would assume both you're going to get damaged in one way or another. Anyway, 63% of 138,000 votes said that they would rather be testing cheaply made groin cups, whereas 37% said that they would rather test ineffectual fire retardant clothing.
Because I feel like after a few burns, your skin get pretty darn tough.
One would hope.
You might look like a burn victim.
One.
But I feel like after a while, you'd be like, eh.
Let's see here.
You know.
Okay. Well, no, wait. I'm not going to pose that one. Ooh. Alrighty. Well, here's one. Would you rather have a personal hairstylist or a personal chauffeur? So, someone who is basically trained to take care of your hair. They know your hair inside and out. They know the best way for you to do your things. They're basically like a personal consultant when it comes to hairstyles and hair in general. Or a guy who you can literally call up, or is just like, you know, sitting outside of your house in a car 24/7. So if you're like, hey, I want to go here, that guy does all the driving.
I have to do driver. Really,
you would go with the... I
don't care about my hair.
See, and I do. I'm very prissy about my hair. I already kind of have.
There's no way they're gonna keep this.
You've got it looking as good as you can.
It's got a mind of its own, so I just let it do its thing.
I've already got a guy that kind of drives me places, and not because I make him. I definitely don't, but just because he drives me to work, and that's about the only place I go. He lives nearby, so I almost already have a personal chauffeur, so I would go with a hairstylist. That said, if I didn't have either, I would probably still go with the personal hairstylist, because one of my biggest regrets of moving from Illinois to Virginia was losing the person that had cut my hair for the last 5 or so years. And it was because, you know, she had taken the time to learn it, she knew what was going on, I could call her up. Like, legitimately, never had a haircut that I was unimpressed with. Whereas, since I moved out to Virginia, I've had haircuts I've had to sort of go get fixed. Now I'm starting to work up sort of a relationship with the person that's cutting my hair now. So we're getting to a point where maybe she's going to be a little bit better, but Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely go with the personal hairstylist. So let's figure out what everyone says here. Okay, a little more split than I realized. 127,000 votes. 46% said that they wanted to have a personal hairstylist. 54% said that they would rather have a personal chauffeur.
Like, I didn't even think about moving. Like, if I moved somewhere and didn't... Because my cousin cuts my hair now.
Okay.
I would honestly buy a pair of clippers and just have the neighbor do it. That's how much I care. I've had my roommate buzz my head before. Twice.
I'm impressed. I can't.
I don't want to go get a haircut. I'm like, dude, just cut it all off.
See, I like getting a haircut. I like sitting down. I like having it done.
I mean, I like it. I just don't like spending money on something.
Yeah, no, I can see that. It does get, depending on where you go, it does get expensive. I tend to find places that usually would do it for like $15, $16. And then,
I mean, that's my usual haircut because mine's pretty simple. Like if I go get it cut somewhere, but it's still.
Sure.
Maybe I'm just really cheap.
No, I understand. There's a lot of people that when I used to get my hair buzzed, they'd be like, really, you pay for that? Just go buy a pair of clippers and put it on like the one setting. And for me, I care enough that I would rather pay $15 to have someone else do it, who I would, hope is a little more trained in it than I am. But that's just my personal opinion. So would you rather? Actually, this one's a little bit different. Which superpower would you rather have? Flashlight hands. Okay, so the ability to basically shine out light, or make other people fart on command. You have two choices. You have flashlight hands, or with like snap your fingers or something, you can make somebody else fart.
Does it have to be like visual? Like I can see this person.
I'm gonna say sort of. It has to be a proximity. You can't just be like for me, I can't be like, oh, my parents are in Arkansas, boom, and then make them fart. I have to be like.
Can I do like, boom, you fart right now?
I don't know. I don't want to approve it. Because then I'll know you'll choose it, and then our show will go downhill.
Well, I would, if it's person to person. Oh, flashlight hands would be handy.
Yes. Now, also think of it this way.
Fart would be funny.
Exactly. It's almost like a functional versus entertainment. But with flashlight hands, think of the practical use as far as like being assaulted or anything like that. Freaking.
I could blind someone.
Exactly.
I could blind
I think I would happen to go with flashlight hands, although making other people fart on command would literally be one of the funniest things ever. But I think for usefulness, I would have to go with flashlight hands.
I think I would do the same.
All right.
And then maybe I can hone my powers where I can adjust the light to make it really dim or like really, really bright.
See,
laser pointers.
That would be neat. Okay, wow, this is pretty split. 124,000 votes. 53% said they'd rather have flashlight hands. 47% said they'd rather make other people fart on command. Well, cool. I want to do more, but in order to stay on task today, because normally I have a tendency of running things over, we are going to move on to our first song. This is by a band called Bored with Four. I'm trying to remember what these guys sounded like. I previewed both of them before the show, and now I can't remember. I try to pick some things that keep everything fresh. I think this is maybe like a indie pop, like indie pop rock or something like that. I can't remember. I can't tell, especially with the name Bored with Four. Anyways, the song is called Thank You. Actually, you know what? This is a really good song. I'm actually really excited for this one. I really enjoyed it earlier. It's from an album called Hey Bird, the EP. We will have Christmas music towards the end of the show. Until then, this is Bored with Four with the song Thank You. When we come back, we will have Karmified, Ross talk about some important stuff. And then we'll be skedaddling right out of here and getting ready for next week. We will see you on the other side.
As your soul that's slow and your body stinks, and you think you can lie to me. You think you can lie to me. You think you're cool 'cause you're always on quick in the street. You're a piece of me, your teeth are green. You think my face is long, but you couldn't be more wrong. So thank you. I wanna be myself.
And you can't kill a person with no body.
You are listening to a Fly Science Productions podcast.
Dude, I am... For anyone listening live, I apologize. My processor's getting effed. Like, hard. I don't understand. I'm going to check it one more time. I do not understand what is causing this issue. It's causing... I'm sitting at 100 right now. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I'm not doing anything extra that I don't normally do during the show.
You're not wearing a beanie today.
That must be what's causing the thing. It's the extra hair on camera is causing it to bog down. What is up?
It's like, I can't handle this awesomeness. You must have a personal hairstylist.
I really must. For real, though, that's kind of a bummer, because that song kind of chopped up. Weird. Well, hold on. I'm going to try and pull some of this down here. And get, let's see, Alright, well, let's get Ross on here. Let's get that Ross.
Ross boss.
There we go.
Roscoe Dash.
Adding him to the call. And it's going to mess up our video, of course. Oh, come on. Hold on, I'm going to play a thing. Ross is, distinguished, got his big old beard.
It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it.
There's amazing things going on every day.
I may not be good, but I'm expensive.
It's Ross and I, and then a bunch of women. Don't let society tell you what to do. He has the power.
Brony.
Okay, this is killing me. Why is this being lame? Well, hello, Ross. How are you doing? Welcome to the shittiest show that's ever been done, ever.
Tough contender, lazy ass. How are we, fellas?
How's it going?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak. How do I do this? Is this my first podcast I've ever done? Why is... I don't even have... Let's try this. Nope, that sure as hell didn't do it.
I feel like I need to get a stand so I can be like you guys.
Oh, there we freaking go.
I'm waiting on my bandana.
I don't even step behind that.
Alright, here we go. We are good. For whatever reason, Oh, here we go. Wait, maybe this will be better? Let's make me smaller. Ross, go ahead and talk to us a little bit so we don't have to hear my boring ass...
Well, because we have a slightly shorter show than usual today, I've got 2 questions to make us think a little bit and see where we stand on some issues.
Perfect.
Tissues.
Now, I think I know where Jake's going to stand on this first one, so while he fixes his processor, Tony, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
Generally, as a culture, now when I say culture, I'm not necessarily talking about just American culture or whatever, but just as a whole, the human race, modern technology, are we too dependent on computers/technology?
See, a large percentage of the population, hardly has clean water. And so, if you take it as a whole, I say no, because there's the highs, there's extremes to both ways. But honestly, I would say in today's modern society, I would say we are incredibly dependent on it, but also that dependency also improves a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, if those things go down, we're kind of out of luck.
Yeah, I know.
But so I would say we are incredibly dependent on it, but I don't think we're so dependent on it where it's a bad thing.
Okay,
so
I think we're too dependent.
Yeah, I think the good kind of outweighs the bad. Okay. When it comes to kids being on their cell phones and texting during podcasts.
Sorry, I'm trying to troubleshoot some of the processor stuff. I am listening though, I promise.
I'm just teasing. Obviously people. I'm not singling you out. I was just a joke. But there are people who are hooked on their phones, on their phones all the time. I can be guilty of that sometimes. If I'm man, this is kind of a little boring. Let's see what's on the internet.
Yeah, a whole different.
I would say in the form of entertainment, we are too dependent on technology. In the form of medicine, actual logistics, and company-wise, I say no.
Okay. Have you ever heard of, just for the sake of curiosity and this question, have you ever heard of an EMP?
Mm-hmm. Electromagnetic pulse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and you've heard what would happen if there was an EMP, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is what made me think man, maybe we are too. And this was my take. I mean, there's a book called 1 Second After, which I have not read. I can't promote. I can't recommend. But it talks about the EMP and how if it did happen that, if it was 2 miles above the United States, it would knock out 75% of the country's computers. Like any car made after like 1968 would not run. You know, the banking system would go down. There'd be no internet. There's no electricity. Anything that has a computer or a chip would be gone.
I mean, that
scary.
The electromagnetic pulses aren't. I mean, it's a pulse, so it all depends on the power being given to the signal.
Right.
So I mean, for one that big, you need a lot of power. So I don't think they can put enough of all that power up in the sky.
Well, I guess apparently, according to this book, which I'm pretty sure is a novel, I don't think it's like it's obviously something that hasn't happened, but there have been tests of that. But 1 second after, I want to say it was a nuclear bomb missile that hit 2 miles above the country.
Okay,
and that's what caused it.
I was thinking just an electromagnetic pulse,
like some kid with a radio he's toying with. Yeah.
Well, an evil genius toying with the radio.
Right.
Mad scientist type.
Yeah, and I know, like, I'm just as guilty. Like, I live on my phone, and Jake can testify to this. We go to a party, and we're talking with people, and somebody will be talking to me about something, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. And my hand wants to reach for my phone so bad, you know, because I'm like, I don't care what you're saying, bro. I just want to see what's on Facebook, or I want to Google something, you know.
Also, this is my favorite picture of all time.
So, yeah, I guess we haven't really talked since the last, because the party was last Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a Christmas party we went to last Saturday, and yeah, we had a good time. It was better than I expected. I usually am not a big fan of parties, but it was good. It was good fun. We, Ross and I fell into a corner and started talking about games, and there's a gentleman that came up and started talking to us, and Ross goes, yeah, we're just talking about video games. And the guy goes, yeah, I know, I figured, that's why I came over. So the three of us just pretty much talked about games for the remainder of the evening, which was fun. It was
pretty great. Yeah, I mean, we had a good time. I know I had way more fun than Jake had because I had a bottle of Jaeger in my pocket. It was a disaster.
I think I had maybe 2 ciders, and that was it. I didn't really have much else. I wasn't really looking to get drunk or anything, though. I was just kind of just trying to chill. It was fun, though.
So Jake, your take on this. Are we too dependent on computers?
Okay, let me get my discussion stance here. I gotta stretch. Oh. Okay. Too dependent on technology. I don't know. I'm really sort of in a split mind, because there's sort of a philosophy / movement called transhumanism that I've kind of been a fan of and following to a varying degrees over the years. And it's the idea of embracing technology because we believe that integrating with this kind of technology can make us what's considered to be post-human, which is more than what we are. Now, you'll most often hear post-humanism in tandem with sci-fi films and books and whatever, and it's usually referring to, you know, people that have freaking bionic implants and are like half android, half human, and so they really take it to the varying degrees. But actual transhumanism is sort of, it can encompass both the futuristic sci-fi side of it and then like the realistic side of it, and it's just talking about integration with technology into our daily lives, you know, with phones and stuff like that really, you know, are so important to us in the way that we function now. But transhumanism is in support of that. I don't remember what the opposite side is called. It might just be called humanism, where we believe that the technology that we have gotten could potentially be too much, and you know that we are too obsessed, and we need to get back to our roots of our natural roots of stuff. And I don't know. I am a huge fan of technology, and I think it has enabled us to do a lot of things that we couldn't have done. I personally would say that I think technology has brought us more good than it has evil. You would probably have to argue about whether or not people vegging out all the time playing video games or doing whatever, being the person on their phone all the time or whatever, if that's, do you lose your humanity when you become that? And it's, and depending on how important you put emphasis on that, it's, I don't know. There are games and movies and things that I watch, play, and whatever that can move me on an emotional level. Can you say that if you're engaging with technology that allows you to have human emotion to an enhanced degree, is that losing your humanity? Like that, it's a real hard double-edged sword. I would say that I think we're definitely engaged in technology to a degree that could be dangerous depending on how you utilize it. But I think that technology itself has brought us more good than bad. It varies from individual to individual, which is something I'll probably say on every topic we ever discuss. Is that it depends, which is the common response. But I don't know. I'm in favor for it. I mean, I want to see technology progress and to see what more we can do with everything. So
it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out over the next 20, 30 years when you think about the fact that right now we have people that have fake eyeballs that actually allow them to see. And we have people that can feel things, like actually feel things with robotic fingers. That's...
Yeah. And so you also think about it, I mean, even 10, 20 years ago, what the hell's a CD? Like that kind of stuff, like, an iPod. I can put my music into a little freaking square device and play my shit. Like that's so like radical, man. It's like future talk. And so you think 20 years from now, what the hell is going to be the thing that I'm not understanding? It's just I think I often hear the statistic, and I don't know how true it is, that we've advanced more in the last 10, 15 years than we have in the last, 100 or whatever, like as a whole. Yeah. Like, we've made so many technological advancements in recent years compared to, upgrading from like a horse to a car, or whatever, however many years it took us to get to that point. So I don't know. It definitely will be interesting to see where it leads us.
Yeah. It's Moore's. Have you heard of Moore's Law?
I have not.
It's basically like computing, and basically anything that is like the technology doubles every 2 years. He's the co-founder of Intel. Over the history of computing hardware, the number of transistors in a dense integrated circuit doubles approximately every 2 years.
Interesting.
So, you keep doubling and doubling and doubling. That's pretty exponential growth.
Yeah. Shit, we've got terabyte SSDs now. I've only got a 128 sitting in my computer.
240.
Yeah. That's crazy. And you have to wonder, is there a tipping point with something like that? There has to be. It has to be a tipping point with everything. But, will there come a point where there are too many transistors and all of a sudden, and everything just explodes?
Right.
I don't know. That's where nano transistors come into play.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
A whole nother layer of...
Yeah, that's a whole nother game, which we're just now starting to tap into. But basically, micro... super small, like micrometers, the size of this transistor. Man, it's nuts.
Scary thought. Let's see.
Did we not? What was that? I'm gonna call you out on behind the scenes stuff. Were you on your webcam mic?
What's that right now?
Oh wait, okay, never mind. You sounded really good there for a second.
Oh, it's just the snowball.
Oh, there you go. No, I was like, dang. I think it's just proximity is what makes a difference. Sorry, totally halting the show for stupid technological questions.
No, it's good.
I'm like obsessed with the, how'd you do that? Next question.
Total fluke. All right, so last question of the day. And this one actually comes in a fairly timely fashion for anybody that's following the current events of the Central Intelligence Agency and how they're defending the means of torture for enemies and things like that, and how we're acquiring information to prevent future attacks. So the question is torture ever acceptable? So, Tony, I'm going to start with you again. Is torture ever acceptable?
This is a tough one because, I mean, I've never really dove into something like this. Is it acceptable or is it right?
Is it acceptable?
It's acceptable.
Now you said you've never gotten into anything like this. Now, do you understand generally like what torture is used for?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've never really because the scared civilian in me was like, well, hey, if we can get information out of them to stop something from happening, yeah. But then the other, the human part of me is like, that's awful.
Yeah.
And then what if they even if they don't even know anything, they're still going through it, and then eventually they'll just say something just to say something, which would lead to nothing. But I would say I'm against it.
Okay.
I know my little voice isn't going to change anything about what the CIA is doing, but I don't know. That's not that'd be something really hard to come back from.
Yeah. Now, what if the caveat was that you had somebody that had information that was going to cause mass chaos, and we're talking 9/11 all over again?
Then yeah,
you'd consider it.
If all my other options, if he's not, then.
Because I mean, if you kill the guy, there's no information to be received anymore. You know. Or you could just put him in prison and hope he talks. So physically
I would
uncomfortable.
Probably have to. Yeah, this makes me uncomfortable. Just because I'm I will put if I need to, if we have people over and someone's rowdy, I will throw someone out of my house and get violent with them to a degree, but that always ruins my night.
Yeah.
If I ever get into a fight with someone, it puts me in just the worst mood, and all I want to do is just go to bed.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if we're really, I guess I would torture him.
Okay.
I guess I would torture him. I'd get a blowtorch, a hammer.
Oh boy.
You've already thought it out.
Just because I'm against it doesn't mean I know what would hurt somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, true. All right, Jake. So, what about you? I see you over there pondering the same thing.
Yeah, I don't want to. I really don't want to provide a bad answer for this. But I honestly don't know if I've got one. Because your main, oh boy. Let's see. I'm going to try to put some absolutes on it in order to try and guide my thoughts, but the problem is that there really are no absolutes. If I for sure thought or knew that torturing an individual would prevent something like 9/11, something legitimately of the same magnitude, or a Hiroshima, or not Hiroshima, I mean really rather Pearl Harbor, given both sides of that was just ugly, but if I could do maybe not me personally, but if something could be done, generally the whole needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or even the one. That freaking said in Star Trek, I think, is incredibly accurate and incredibly good to follow. I mean, if torturing one particular individual is going to save thousands, perhaps millions of lives, yes. Now, I don't know, because the thing is you don't always know what it's going to yield. You don't know what it's going to yield. Torturing someone could yield no answers, and you could still have the same disaster. What if you grab and torture the wrong guy?
Yeah.
Can you ever make up for? It's like people that have been imprisoned for 20 and 30 years now are still getting out of prison for wrongful convictions. It's the same thing with that's sort of like having a death sentence. Does having capital punishment, is it better to kill everybody knowing that for sure you at least got a couple that were guilty? Is it worth the guilt that comes with knowing that some of the people you are going to capitally punish are not guilty? Is it the same thing with torture? Is it worth torturing everybody to try and get every piece of information knowing that at least you tried versus not doing it because you're worried that, I don't know. I don't know how effective torture is, to be honest. I don't have statistics. I know that the CIA thing has been into question, and there's a lot of people that have questioned the CIA's tactics, and certain courts are saying that they think that the torture the CIA has done actually did not produce the results, that the ends did not justify the means. I don't know. How do you measure that? How do you measure that torturing somebody? I mean, unless you get you take what's been said under stress of torture and figure out for certain if it's true or not. I don't know. It's a really dicey thing, and I don't have a great answer for it because I don't know. I don't think torture is something that should be considered lightly. I don't think that that's the first option, or even the second or third or whatever. I feel like that needs to be the last option because I agree. The intention of torture is literally to hurt someone to a point to where they cannot take it anymore. So you're I mean, depending on what kind of person you are, you're genuinely fearing for death probably at a certain point, and these people that they're torturing are people that have probably been trained to withstand the torture, Yeah. And so, I don't know. That's a one, and I'm not afraid of it's not that I can't say anything because I'm afraid of offending or I'm afraid that what I'm going to say is going to be controversial or anything like that. I just don't have a good answer for this one.
It's tricky. I mean, it's tricky all around.
Such a gray area for it, and I don't have hard evidence to say one way or another that that it has been proven to be effective or anything like that.
Yeah, I got you. And like I said, I mean, the point of all this is really just to get you thinking. I mean, it's not like us and our answers, whether they agree or not, are going to change anything outside of the scope of this podcast. But just to get you thinking and get even the listeners thinking, because maybe you think, okay, well, I'm against torture and we shouldn't do that to somebody. But then when you put it in context of if I knew somebody was going to hurt my family, just on a personal level, how far would I be willing to go to make sure that doesn't happen? Mm-hmm. So, it just kind of makes you think outside the box sometimes, that's all.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, next level, that's all.
I appreciate you bringing some great topics to the show. This stuff is always good, and I'm excited for this. I'll say it every week. It still is probably one of my favorite things we've done for Karmified, so... thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Yeah, no problem. And then as we get rid of Ross here, we will do this.
Northwest began serving peanuts this month. Georgia is the top peanut-producing state.
Alrighty, let's do that. Let's get rid of him. Okay, remove. Boom. Tony's back up to full size now. For some reason, we were getting a little cut on the stream there, but...
Uh-oh.
Weird. Yeah, everything got weird after I did this. I don't know. Oh boy.
They know you took the logo off.
Yeah, I guess. Our stream's being real goofy right now, but since it's the end of the show, who effing cares? Thank you for listening in. Wow, I don't have my notes up because I was trying to save the load on my processor, so I'm going to try and do this all from memory. If you want to help out the show, I normally look at the end.
Tell friends and share our social media posts.
So tell everybody, when you see us posting on Facebook, when you see us posting on Twitter, anything like that, definitely helps out the show. If you want to figure out how you can sponsor the show, sponsor a segment, you can find out more on our website. That always helps out. Or you can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/streamthemachine, and you can figure out more information there. You don't even have to donate your money. You can actually just become a supporter. Anything helps out. Oh boy, what comes? Submit your music if you've got music. If you know people that have songs, stuff that needs to be played on the show, you can have that sent into the email as well. streamthemachine@gmail.com. Is there anything else before the Twitter part? No. Okay. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at Redefined Jack. Tony is at Tony DePalma 51. I don't know. I've also... Hold on, your mic got cut. Can you hear me?
How about now?
You're back.
Okay.
Go ahead, continue if there's something else.
I was going to say, the show podcast, STM Podcast.
Yes, thank you. Follow us at STM Podcast. This is what I get for closing out my notes and not running down the list. Next week, 10:30, as usual, is episode 36. We'll be back for more entertaining things, hopefully. To play us out, Tony, why don't you go ahead and read us who the band is, and what the song and album.
We got the title of the song is The Angel Gabriel. Sorry. Artist is Aaron DeVries featuring Ben DeVries. I'm guessing they're either brothers.
I was assuming
father,
brothers
son,
as well.
Cousins, or just good friends that just don't happen to have the last name.
Happen to have the same.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions. And off the album, The Christmas Mixtape 2010.
Yes, so here's a bit of a Christmassy tune. I think it just has some Christmassy type lyrics to it. It doesn't particularly sound very Christmassy, but it's good. It also actually has an incredibly thick use of auto-tune, which is not my favorite, but it worked in this, and I'm okay with it, especially just because it's a Christmas song, so it's whatever anyways. When we come back, or rather, next week, we will be back, episode 36. We'll have lots of fun. Tony, thank you for coming on the show and being awesome as always, and I hope that
I'll do what I can.
I hope that your thing today is going to be really fun. I'm sure it will be. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Anyways, Aaron and Ben. Aaron and Ben DeVries with the Angel Gabriel. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
I'm going to go get my suit on.
Angel Gabriel from heaven came. His wings as drifted snow, his eyes aflame. All hail, said he, thou lowly maiden Mary, most highly favored lady. For Noah, blessed mother, thou shalt be. All generations laud and honor thee. Thy son shall be Emmanuel, by seers foretold, most highly favored lady. Gloria. Then gentle Mary meekly bowed her head. To me be as it pleaseth God, she says, my soul shall laud and magnify his holy name, most highly favored lady. Gloria.
was born in Bethlehem all on a Christmas morn, and Christian folk throughout the world will ever say, most highly favored lady.
She cannot be a human.
I was going bananas.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening in. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I think my computer just needs to be restarted. I don't know why I was having such a crazy CPU usage. That's absolutely insane and unacceptable. Well, yes, thank you for listening in. We'll be back next week. Wish Tony luck on his thing today, playing concert tunes. Goodbye. I'll be back next week, as I've said 1,000 times. See you then.